Brian, do you need to pee?
Right about now, we're going to get into the jack-off hour. DJ Easy Dick.
I like that. You're a good DJ. You're like a perfect MC. I should let you host the show, and you ask us the questions, and you run the whole thing.
When I was a kid, I worked at a roller rink, so I used to have to get on the mic.
No way.
And tell everybody, all right, everybody, it's time for Couples and Trios. Couples and Trios.
Sounds like a G-rated strip club.
Wait, you know what's amazing about that? All my first everything experience was at a roller rink. I was obsessed. Really?
Yeah.
You lost your virginity at one?
I mean, not my virginity, but everything else.
Oh.
Yeah, and actually...
I didn't lose my virginity at the roller rink, but I lost my virginity with a girl from the roller rink.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry. How old were you when you worked there?
Like in high school, like sophomore, freshman,
was it
junior year.
Skateland?
I'd rather not say.
This was in Michigan, though, right?
No, this was in California.
Oh, I thought you were... When did you move out here?
When I was 10 or 11 years old.
10 or 11 you moved here?
Yeah.
I think Skateland's the only one in the
Flint.
valley.
World on Wheels.
From what?
World on Wheels.
World on Wheels is in Culver City?
No.
Or is that the one in Glendale?
No.
Wait,
It's like in
Inglewood?
LA. Yeah, no, it's like in LA.
I've been there. I've been to all of them.
That's
I
pretty
love
cool.
roller rinks. I still go. I'm such a nerd.
You're like roller girl.
Honestly, I would totally do roller derby.
You should be roller girl for fucking Halloween.
Okay.
That'd be
Who's
perfect
roller
for you.
girl? Is that a
From
superhero?
Boogie Nights. Heather
Roller
Graham.
Girl.
I
She
never
was
saw
the-
Boogie Nights.
Oh. Come on, Dirk
Sorry.
Diggler.
She was a porn star. She was always on roller skates. She
Yeah.
never took them off, even when she had sex.
No
Never
way.
seen Dirk Diggler?
No, I mean, I actually am shocked I haven't seen it because
I'm sure you do know a Dirk Diggler.
I know many Dirk Digglers.
There you go.
I hosted the AVN Awards. I know all the Dirk Digglers.
You know Dolph Ziggler.
I do know Adolf Ziggler. Okay, well, first of all, I love that we did no intro. These are my favorite openings to podcasts where we just start talking.
Start talking about roller rinks.
Yeah, and Fred. So, guys, I should introduce my guest. I mean, Fred, what's funny is I met Fred because Fred Reck, everyone, you're like an iconic producer. I didn't even know when I dropped in your DMs that you were such a legend. You're a legend, dude.
I'm not.
You must be.
I'm trying.
Why'd you drop in the DMs then?
I dropped in his DMs. I've only ever slid in two guys' DMs. Fred was one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the other guy ended up being pretty much a murderer. I think he's in jail. I'm not even kidding. So
You're doing 50-50. You're all right.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in jail. So
Nah, I'm
there's
good.
that.
I'm here, baby.
You leave the country a lot. So I'm like, what is he fleeing?
Yeah.
But
Maybe a secret agent, you know.
I mean, I'm into that. No, so actually I saw him. You did the music for the movie Taco Shop. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or some of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie Taco Shop that a bunch of comics we know, Felipe Esparza is in,
Okay.
George Perez. They had some kind of premiere party or something at the Comedy Store. I don't know.
Right.
And I saw a photo of you, and I was like, "Who's that? He's cute." And George was
I
like,
didn't know all this.
"Yeah." And George was like, "Oh, that's Fred Reck. He did the music for the movie."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is he cool?" And I think George said "Oh, I just met him in passing or something." George doesn't know you, but then I was talking to Russell Peters.
Oh, yeah. Russell's my guy.
Yeah. And
Russ.
Russell gave you the best. Russell's my friend, so he wouldn't tell me to talk to somebody if he didn't really like him.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
my guy.
How was the
man.
movie?
It's funny.
Taco Shop.
Yeah, it's funny. It's they don't make movies like that no more. Kind of hood, movies like Fridays.
Friday, yeah,
It's
that's what I was thinking
It's
about.
kind of like a get high, fun,
Yeah. They put it on HBO, I think. It's been
Oh,
running
did
on
they?
HBO.
Oh, that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, it's like a Latino Friday kind of, thing.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard it's great. I haven't actually watched it, but I'm going to.
I had a
definitely.
feeling you might not have when you didn't really tell me whether it was funny or not.
Well, I never watch. Honestly, it's terrible. I don't watch anything.
Well, you haven't seen Boogie Nights.
I haven't
right?
seen
Yeah.
it. I mean, I'm so
I heard
behind.
you talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You didn't know what that was either. The new Quentin Tarantino.
I know what
movie.
it is. I just haven't seen it.
It's
That's
all
all-
right.
This is going to be I'll have to ask this. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Yes.
Okay. Scarface?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're good.
Yeah. But I
Because
also.
a lot of people, have you seen The Godfather? No, I haven't seen that.
I've
I'm
only
like, what?
Yeah, I gotta watch the second one still. I know I've watched the first one recently.
The Godfather?
Yeah.
You haven't seen number 2?
I heard it's amazing, but I haven't seen it
You
yet.
got to see all 3 really so you can have a whole spectrum of it. But
I think I need to watch everything again as a grown-up because I kind of went through a phase like in my late teen years, early 20s where I watched all those iconic movies just to say like I saw it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a lot of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Any of them stand out as good?
Well, I mean, lots, but The Godfather, honestly, Scarface I remember more, but The Godfather, I remember thinking it was okay.
Say hello to my little friend.
yeah, Scarface was kind of more funny. It was a lot of funny parts in it.
Yeah.
Godfather was really serious, but
Yeah.
I have
Godfather's
trouble.
epic.
I have trouble watching violence.
Yeah, well,
I'm a little decent, like even fighting, like UFC and stuff. I have a hard time when I see people getting hit and beat up, and I don't know. It makes me cringe. I don't like it.
Yeah. A lot
So
of these guys are getting concussions and shit, and no one's gonna die usually though.
Yeah, like unless I'm giving you the concussion, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But if it's me,
hello.
but that's how I met him. And then I didn't know he was. I thought you were like a photographer at first. I knew you did the music, but you take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, we should shoot photos. I totally hit on him.
Oh,
I totally straight up hit on him.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pretty proud
Good
of myself.
job, man.
I'm not gonna lie. And I remember he was like,
I'm flattered, man. Really.
really?
Yeah.
I remember you were like, are you flirting with me? I was like, maybe. Are you single? And he was like, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I was proud. I've never done that, so.
That's
props,
a big
Fred.
deal then.
Yeah, that's hot.
Look how much he's blushing.
Yeah. Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
It's great. See, and you were nervous.
That's cool. You ever rap yourself?
Sorry.
I'm changing the subject.
You're asking if he raps?
Have you ever rapped yourself?
We haven't even talked.
I mean, you know, for fun maybe before. Yeah. No.
Kate and I were battling on an
But
episode.
No.
you'll never hear it. Or
Yeah, we were not battling. You tried to make me rap battle you. He thinks he can rap. It wasn't even
I'm the
fair.
killer bee.
Stop. You're not rapping. We're not doing this. He made me rap battle him, but his rap
let
is
me hear
planned.
like 8 bars or something.
It's not fair because he pretended it was freestyle and it was pre-planned.
I never said it was freestyle.
I actually
said let's
freestyle.
battle. You don't need to invent
don't
your
wanna rap.
battles on the spot.
Can we instead ask him questions and not rap? We can rap at the end.
We'll rap at
I
the
don't
end.
wanna
All right,
rap.
cool. We'll put a beat up at the end.
Oh God! All right, great. Can't wait. I have to.
She's very jealous of my talent.
I did win the rap battle at the
No, you did
Hollywood
not.
Improv. Yes,
Oh,
I did.
I thought you meant with me. I wasn't in the Hollywood
Okay,
Improv battle.
let's talk about our guest instead of a rap battle.
I was asking if he raps.
He raps for fun.
Nah.
Here's what's really cool about you. Okay, I took him. Well, he took me to a party. And you're so humble, man. Everybody at this party was like, "Oh, Fred, you're a legend. I'm such a big fan." And you were like, yeah. You were so humble about it. And then I started looking into what you do, and you've worked with everybody. It's crazy. He's worked with everybody. Snoop,
awesome.
Eminem, also Britney Spears, like pop people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. So, how did you even start producing? Like, how did this happen?
I started in high school is when, actually before high school, like in junior high school, there was like hip hop was like a big thing amongst kids. So
Yeah.
and in hip hop, there were so many ways for you to be involved in it. Either you could be a graffiti writer, which I was never good at.
Graffiti,
You're
like actual graffiti, like painting?
Yeah, like people would have their little graffiti books and they'd be drawing graffiti.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Or you were a rapper. People would be in
That
the
was me.
quad.
That was
in
me.
the quad at school rapping and telling their raps, but I could never rap. Or you could be breakdancing. So I started breakdancing a little bit.
Can you break dance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'll
hot.
do a windmill right now for you.
Shut up.
All the
You'll knock
cameras
everything
go
down.
flying.
But I liked breakdancing, but I wasn't really good at it. So I used to go to my friend's house, Adrian Little, and his older brother had some turntables in the back.
Good old A-lit.
And yeah, and he had and he was my breakdancing partner, and so we used to go through his brother's records and make mixtapes for us to breakdance to. So from doing the mixtapes, I started selling them at school to people, and then somebody asked me to DJ their like house party or something. So I went and borrowed a turntable from somebody, went and borrowed a speaker from somebody else, and we do the house party.
Then it just
until
blew
I
up.
started buying my own turntables and started DJing. And once I started DJing, I was so interested in the music that I was playing. Like, how did they make these beats? And then I started.
What year was it when this all started?
This was like in the 80s.
Oh shit! So this is
87.
I think we're the same age
young.
actually. I was born in 71, like January.
72.
Yeah. So, what inspired you? Like the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and
No,
LL Cool
like
J?
before that, like Africa Bambaataa.
Oh yeah, that's old school.
And
I don't know who that is. That bad.
I used to like a guy named Mantronics, King of the Beats. I used to listen to Dr. Dre when he was in a group called the Wrecking Crew.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
LL Cool J. I like Rick Rubin. I liked all the the Public Enemy, Eric B and Rakim. Those are the guys I used to listen. And I always liked the DJ. So whenever they'd say the DJ's name, or it's like Eric B would be rapping, but he'd be like, "And my DJ's Eric B." And, you know what I'm saying?
Go Jam Master Jay. Go Cut Creator. Go.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be the one that they say his name. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. You didn't want to be the front man. You wanted to be.
I couldn't do it. I wasn't good at rapping. I wasn't good at. I loved hip hop, but I wasn't good at the other elements of hip hop. I couldn't beatbox.
Yeah. So I didn't even know about rap when like that shit was happening. Like I didn't know until it hit the mainstream with Run DMC and LL Cool J and Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
And then I heard some of that other stuff you just mentioned, but like before that, it just wasn't in my world,
Right.
But what's crazy is that it got so big. Like I grew up in Ohio, and the first CD I ever bought was a Chronic. It was Dr. Dre, which is nuts, being from like a white girl from the Midwest, Ohio, like a farm town, but it was so popular.
That's like a generation after us.
Yeah,
like
it's like that record is not even a hip hop record. That's just an iconic record. It's like if you're gonna have a crate of CDs at your house, you're gonna have Pink Floyd in there, Michael Jackson, Thriller, The Chronic, and Bob Marley. You're gonna have that's one of the greats.
Yeah. I never even told you this story. I think I told you I had a great Dre story I was gonna tell you next time I saw you, and I haven't seen you.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna love this. No, it's not. Well, it's bad for me, not for him.
All right.
So I met him. I know I told you that. He was at the Comedy Store one night. This was like, I want to say like a year and a half ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my set, and then I was talking to somebody, and he tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and he said, "You were really funny." And I was like, holy shit.
Dr. Dre said that?
Yeah.
Damn, nobody big ever comes to my shows.
Well,
I think I was at that show.
You weren't there.
Our friend Bluetooth was doing a comedy set.
I feel like I would have saw you. Did you leave with him?
Yeah, we were sitting in the side right there. Our friend Bluetooth, we went to see him. He did a sketch.
Maybe, but I didn't see him till outside.
What was the
I would
venue
have
again?
seen you, because this is after I met you.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I would have seen you. But he's come more than once, I think.
Ooh.
But it was the Comedy Store main room. I think it might have been your show.
If Dr. Dre was at my show and I didn't know, maybe I was out of town.
I don't know. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Point is, after I get off stage, he taps me on the shoulder. I meet him. We talk for just a minute. I couldn't believe how fit he is, by the way. He is so fit, like it's crazy. But then I got a picture with him, and then I had to go. So I had driven that night because I had something to do in the morning. So I was like, I'm not going to drink. I'm going to go home, be responsible. I go get my car, and I start posting this photo with the caption, Dr. Dre told me I'm funny, so if I die tonight, at least, mission accomplished. I go, whatever. As I'm about to post it, my phone rings. I answer it. My friends are like, yo, we're in the valley. It's so-and-so's birthday. You should come by. I'm like, all right, I'll come just for a little bit. And I'm on my phone, and I looked, and I go to pull out, and I swear I looked twice. I didn't see a car coming. I got T-boned on Sunset. Like, I was making a Yui on Sunset, which you shouldn't.
Right.
But I saw no cars coming. I get T-boned, totaled my car.
And Dr. Dre was the one that T-boned you.
Would that be the best ending to the story? No, but I just thought if I would have posted that photo with the caption, I just met Dr. Dre, told me I'm funny if I die tonight. And then I didn't quite post it. And then I got hit. But I was thinking that would have been like the most epic death post. But
you don't want to go out like that, man.
No.
Well, no. I mean, I'd rather not. But it was just interesting. And then they came to get my car. And I was still so excited about meeting Dre that I was just like, take the car, I'm going to go back to Comedy Store and have a drink. I didn't even go home. I didn't follow my car. I just let them take it away. I didn't even know where they took it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's pretty wild that was the night I met him. I totaled my car. Then I had no car for a year after that.
I met him once, and I saw him one other time. I saw him at the Stinking Rose. I was getting in a valet, and he was getting out of his car, in a car, Mercedes. And then one time I was at the Palace. I saw Third Base performing at the Palace. Remember the Palace on Vine?
Yeah.
And Eazy-E showed up to watch Third Base with Dr. Dre and the DOC. His voice was just fucked up like a week or two before that.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of his.
Yeah, the DOC's a shit.
I don't know Third Base.
Oh, they're the white guys that kind of like...
They're like the first white rappers, probably.
After
really?
the Beasties.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit after.
Yeah. Like,
So wait, you grew up in Flint.
Yep.
And then you moved here when you were 10, you said?
Yep, 10 or 11, something like that.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in San Jose.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you moved here with your mom and dad?
Yep.
Or just your mom? Your mom and dad?
Brothers and sisters.
Your dad is so cute. I always see your dad on your Instagram when you go back to visit. His dad is like adorable. Yeah. How is your dad?
Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's great. Man.
He's great. They live on a farm, or you have a farm there?
Yeah. We have a ranch out there.
So cool.
Yeah.
So,
really cool.
So you moved here at 10, and then I don't know, what was that trend? Did you immediately like the West Coast?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you loved it?
Hell yeah.
Do you surf?
No, I didn't surf, but I remember driving out here when I was a kid in the U-Haul with my mom, my dad, my two brothers. We were all sat in the front seat of a U-Haul all the way across America with no air conditioning.
Wait, your mom, dad, and how many kids?
2 and 3 of us.
5 of you across the front of a U-Haul with no AC?
Yep, no AC. I remember it was no AC in June.
Oh, man.
And I just remember driving across and telling my mom and dad, man, so when we go out there, I can buy a surfboard, right? They were like, yeah, we're going to get you a surfboard. How about a skateboard? Can I get a skateboard? Like, yeah, you can have a skateboard and everything. Because used to see stuff about California on magazines and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody surfing. And, I'm from Michigan. Like, we don't have that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I want to go out to California.
But San Jose.
I never surfed or anything.
Really?
No.
Do you at least go in the ocean?
I go on a boat.
Yeah, you fish. You're fishing all the time.
Yeah, them sharks got a warrant for my arrest out there, so I'm not getting in the water. They ain't gonna get me.
That's crazy. I love going in. I still go in. When I lived in Venice, you're in Venice all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in Venice, I used to surf every day.
There's no way I'm gonna be flopping around in that water.
No way. Sharks don't really eat people very often.
Very often. They got zero chance of eating me because I ain't gonna be out there flopping around.
I just think that would be like bragging rights to get bitten by a shark.
No, I'm good. I ain't gonna be walking around all stubby.
You might not be around to brag either.
Yeah, fuck that.
All stubby. So wait, San Jose for high school.
Yeah.
And then when did you move here?
So like for half of high school, and then I moved here after that.
And then you moved to LA?
Yeah.
And then wait, I don't know why I thought I read that you started producing professionally before you were even out of high school. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's so insane.
Like probably my last 2 years of high school, I started making records with different people, not big people, but
yeah.
Like I was touring on tour, playing keyboards for different people. Like I played keyboards for a girl named Debbie Deb.
Oh yeah, I've heard
she does like When I Hear Music and Look Out Weekend come.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I was young, so that was like my first taste of getting out there.
How old were you?
I was like 17. I wasn't even 18 yet.
And you're going on the road playing like what size venues at that point?
Like, like clubs, like,
like the Roxy size?
Like the Florentine Garden size. Like,
okay.
Yeah, kind of like the Roxy size too.
Yeah.
Stuff
my
like
friends
that.
and I used to go to Florentine Gardens. Just stand on the wall. We wouldn't do shit.
Where is that?
Dude.
I don't know where that is.
It was like a dance club.
Yeah.
And like we would just go and not do shit.
And it was 18 and over.
We would never ask anyone to dance. We just figured someone will come to us someday, one of those types of things.
It was like where you could go if you were 18 and over and you could drink. I mean, they said it was
like
18 and over.
Low key.
I mean, your homie can go get you a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't really tripping in there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, what was it like being a teenager on the road? I mean, you must have seen everything.
Yeah.
You must have seen all kinds of crazy
What's the craziest story?
Oh, man, I couldn't even tell you that.
Oh.
You can't tell those, I'm sure.
So there's so
you
many
have
stories.
Some
There's a lot of stories, yeah. I mean,
Has anything ever happened? Well, okay, first of all, when you were doing that and you were a teenager, what did your parents think?
What happened was when I started to do it, that's when I stopped like wanting to go to school and, doing all that. And then after that, my parents moved back to Flint. So after high school,
Where'd you live?
On my own. I lived in my car. I lived in people's attics. I'm serious.
I believe it.
I lived wherever. I lived at, girlfriends' houses. I lived in I worked at a studio. I lived in the studio.
Yeah.
Like I'd sleep under the board when nobody was there, just wherever.
Every artist in LA has been homeless for some period,
Yeah.
I feel like. I had a guy living in my kitchen. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, and my buddy, who's a comic, he's an addict. So he would fall on and off the wagon. So when he was sober, he'd do fine, but then he'd fall off the wagon and go crazy, and wherever he was living would kick him out. So there's a point in time where I let him live I have an eating kitchen, and I moved everything out of it and let him put a little cot and like a little room divider, and it was like he was literally living in the kitchen.
Who's this?
Eric Myers.
Oh.
The people would come over and they'd like think no one was home, and then they'd hear noise coming from the kitchen. They'd be like,
I
"Do you
didn't
have
know
a
you were
dog?"
buddies with him.
What?
I know you're buddies with him.
Oh, he used to be like one of my best friends. Yeah.
How's
And
he doing right now?
he's good. He moved to Florida. He's engaged and he's doing great. But
Jesus.
But yeah, but he lived in my kitchen for a year. But I mean, like, we wrote a script about it because it's just, that's so normal for LA.
Yeah.
It's not even weird to be like, oh, there's 2 dudes living in my kitchen.
Yeah.
I charged him rent.
I lived in my homeboy's attic where you had to have to go in the in the hallway and pull the stairs down and go climb up and I slept on a cot in there. But you know, when you figure out what you want to do and you're like passionate about it,
you don't care.
I was like, yo, I don't care. I just want to be able to have a place where I can just wake up and I was trying to do music. I was trying to be in every studio I could.
Was it hard when you couldn't afford the equipment or anything, or was it you just had to rent studio time?
Well, that's why I was like, I can't pay for the studio time, so I would just used to work there. Like I would just be there, and the guy that ran the studio that I used to be at all the time, he used to like, all right, well, if you're gonna hang out here, you're gonna do something. So he showed us how to like solder and fix equipment, and you know, when something would break, how to take it apart and put it on an oscilloscope and figure out what circuits need to be replaced. And he taught us all that.
You're amazing because, you know, like, this is honestly why I was interested in him. Yeah. Because you posted that you, like, built a microphone or something. Yeah. And I was like, this guy is, like, a scientist. Like, it's not just music. Like, you build, like, what? Like, I can't imagine knowing how to build a microphone from scratch.
Yeah, we used to have to fix them. So, you know, you kind of just learn. It's, you know, it's not really that hard, but it was like we had to do that to be able to, at night when nobody's using the studio, he'd let us use the studio and we could go in there and make beats and record, and because you couldn't afford that stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever money you put together, you know, somebody did. There was no recycler, there was no eBay, there was none of that. So if you wanted to get a drum machine, you had to know somebody that could.
No social media.
Yeah, you know.
That's the same with comedy. When I started doing comedy, I had to look at LA Weekly to know if there was an open mic like that.
A recycler or something. Yeah.
Everything has changed. Yeah, totally.
So you had to get the equipment. You had to go find somebody like, yo, man, if you see a drum machine anywhere, let me know. Hey, my cousin, he's got a Vietnamese band. My first drum machine was my homeboy. His cousin was playing in a Vietnamese band. And he had a Juno keyboard and he had a drum machine. And he was like, my cousin's getting new shit. He wants to get rid of it. So I went and made him a deal like, hey, I want to buy your stuff. I can't pay you all the money. I'll give you a little bit at a time. So
still got that thing?
Nah, I got rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
No. How did you learn to play music? Like, you play piano and guitar, right?
Yeah.
What else do you play?
I played piano, guitar, a little bit of bass, a little flute, you know, whatever I could pick up.
How did you learn? Did you take any classes? Or
well, at first I didn't take any classes. Like, I got a keyboard and I just started doing like remixes of songs and playing my own keyboards and just figuring it out. And then I had friends that really knew how to play, so they teach me like, okay, here's some chords. And every musician you meet, you learn something from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after that, and I started like taking the lessons here and really learning it. And then guitar I picked up because guitar players just wouldn't show up to sessions. You'd call a guy to come, or they'd come and they'd want all sorts of money. So one time I had a guitar player that was really cool. He was great to work with, but he flaked out on a really important session. So I got pissed. I was like, man, go down to Guitar Center, go buy me a guitar.
Shut up.
And so I was like, you know, just...
That's not an easy instrument to just like...
No, it's pretty difficult, but...
Yeah.
But if you know the piano, that you can make some sounds out of it. And now with recording, we could punch in, so...
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like my first guitar playing songs were like pretty simple, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and you can use 3 chords.
Not even like just the lead notes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how to make chords on it. But then you learn, and then you meet other guitar players. You're like, yo, show me how to do that.
I'm obsessed with guitar. Well, I play a little guitar, but I always wanted to learn piano. I still do. I want to take lessons. That's like one of my life goals. Yeah, I'm going to do that with all my free time. When I start watching The Godfather.
You just got to have it in somewhere where you're always at, like in your living room. Just have a little setup. And
in my suitcase.
Yeah, you can get a little keyboard and throw it in your suitcase.
Keep it practice on an iPhone app or something.
A great idea.
It's not the same. I don't suggest that, but
yeah.
I mean, here's what's crazy. Like, I want to get you into telling wild stories, but I don't want to incriminate you or anything. But here's what I find fascinating. You've worked with literally, like, huge people. Eminem, who's, like, one of my heroes. Like, I love Eminem. Snoop, Dre. I mean, Cypress Hill, everybody. How are you you're so grounded and, like, humble and just, like, did you ever go through a period where it went to your head and you were, like, crazy and doing, like, crazy, wild, like, I'm Fred Reck shit? You had to have.
I mean, Buddy Love has slid out a few times, you know.
You know? Like, what? Tell me about the time when you first blew up. Like, what was your break? Working with Dre? What was, like, your big break?
I don't know. It's like a bunch of breaks that happened, you know, it's throughout time. Like, every little step was kind of like a break.
When was a moment that you were like, oh shit,
I don't know. I still haven't felt that way. I just kind of I'm still a fan of it. So even the people that I work with, I'm still a fan of. So I take it from the perspective of as a fan, what would I like to hear with this artist?
That's dope.
Who's the best rapper of all time if you had to pick one?
Eminem.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Eminem's
Your
the greatest
hero.
rapper of all time.
I love Eminem, but it's not about. I mean, his music. I love his
I have
music.
other
but-
favorites, you know. But
Yeah.
as far as if you're gonna ask who the greatest of all time is, he's the greatest of all time.
I love
I don't think
Eminem.
anybody could touch him. But I have favorites. Like the DOC is one of my
I
favorites.
love the DOC. That's such a shame.
Ice Cube, Rakim, Snoop Dogg, KRS-One. You know the classics.
Yeah.
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 Public Enemy. You know the shit we grew up
Chuck
listening
D.
to. Yeah.
So I want to hear, like when you were in your oh shit. I mean, was there ever a moment that you were? How about this? Was there ever a moment that you were like, I can't believe this is my life? Like your first, I can't believe this is my life. Like there had to be some moments that you were like, wow. Like you,
Like me and Exhibit used to be roommates together. I'm not gonna put him.
That'd be
on
a great
blast.
reality show.
But one time, and then I used to DJ for him. So, and me and him were just starting to really like wild out. So one time we went to Vegas and stayed at the Palms Casino, and that was the first time like somebody flew us out there and sent us the jet and gave us the suite and the whole thing, and everything was comped. It was like
Ballers.
it was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time I was like, wow, man, we're rock stars, bro.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Where were you performing out there?
we weren't performing anywhere. They just brought us
You
out
just
there to
came to
hang
party.
out. Yeah,
Oh,
we just
shit.
went out there to party with the Maloof brothers.
I thought you had a show. Gig.
No, we was out there with the Maloofies. And they
That's
had us out
amazing.
there. Yeah, it was pretty fun, and that was pretty. That was probably one of the first times that. Before that, you're like in a van, in a freaking in a bus or whatever.
Yeah.
My first time I went on the road though was a comedy show. I was a DJ for a comedy tour.
I remember you saying that.
Like
Who
Def
was
Jam
it?
kind of thing?
It was right after.
Def
It was
Comedy?
some of the guys from Def Jam and then another guy. His name is Jeff Clanagan. He made this tour, so we used to call it the Jeff Jam, and it was Chris Tucker, Faison, AJ Johnson, another guy named Hamburger. He used to go Hamburger.
Yeah, black guy. I remember him.
Yeah.
Bald guy, I think.
Yeah, and a couple other guys, and we were in a like 11 passenger van just driving around everywhere doing shows. This guy had set up a tour, and so they had me doing all these skits and stuff on stage with the Chris Tucker would be like, all right, drop it. He used to call me DJ Akbar, drop it. And I dropped the beat and he'd do some crazy shit. So that was like the first time that I was as a DJ going out on the road and like.
Now this is an interesting question because you were out on the road with a bunch of comedians
Yeah.
for that, and I'm sure you've done a lot of work with musicians. Who's crazier? Because I feel like comics are probably way more nuts.
Depends which
it's
one,
not,
but yeah.
It's not so much the craziness. It's all. I mean, being on a comedy tour is like your face and your stomach hurts like the whole time. In the van, you're in a van and all they're doing is cracking jokes and talking shit the whole time. So it's like when you get to your hotel room, you just want to hear quietness because those dudes are so funny.
Yeah.
Like all day they're just popping off jokes, at each other, at whatever,
You can't stop
but
laughing.
But then if you go on the road with Snoop, it's gonna be the same thing. He's gonna be popping so many jokes. He's a comedian. He should have been
He's funny.
He should have been a comedian, So it's both. As long as it's laughs and fun, everybody has a good time,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You should try to get Snoop to do the show.
Yeah.
What show? Oh, this.
One of our comedy shows.
I mentioned you to him when I saw him at the ESPY's
Oh.
charity basketball game thing, whatever. I forget what I was like.
Oh yeah, I saw you with him.
Yeah. He's hilarious. I can't believe I almost forgot to ask. So he's the DJ on Snoop and Martha's Potluck.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's cool.
Martha Stewart is a bad bitch.
Hell yeah.
She's she's like the Eminem of fucking domestic.
She's the queen
whatever.
bee.
Yeah. That what I like about Eminem and Martha's the same. Like they don't give a fuck. Like Martha Stewart does not give a fuck. She just doesn't. She
That's why
does what she wants.
They keep putting her on the celebrity roasts.
I
She's
love
so
her
funny.
so much.
Yeah, me too. She's my big sis, man.
Do you have any good Martha Stewart stories that you can tell that aren't bad?
Nah, they're all good. Martha's great, man. She's funny as hell. She's like the big sis you never had. I never had sisters, but if I did, she would be. She is my sister.
That's cool.
We just have a blast on the show.
How long have you been doing that?
This is our third season now.
Oh shit.
So she's just fun. Like it's fun filming it, and we're always making drinks and cocktails on the show, and she's always making sure your glass is full. Like whenever the cameras take a break to move around or something, she'll look over at me and be like, "Fred Reck, is your glass full?" I'm like, and then she'll be like, she'll get mad. She'll be like, "Oh, Thomas, make sure that Fred Reck's glass is never empty." I'm like, ah. So every day they'll
She's
be coming over there.
drunk.
We're faded on the whole show. Me, Snoop, and her are faded.
That's
every
hilarious.
episode.
Have you ever thought about having her come over to decorate your place?
Nah, she don't want to come to my place.
Dude, she's amazing. Can you believe she
She's
went
amazing.
to jail? She spent time in jail. Like, I just can't even imagine. Like
Tax
that.
evasion, right?
I mean, I don't know. Some
No,
kind
no,
of
it was she didn't snitch.
What is
She
it
was,
called?
It was
that stock fucking insider.
It was no,
trick.
but she didn't get in
inside.
trouble for that though. That was what it was originally, but what she really went to jail for is not cooperating with the federal investigation and contempt.
Oh, really?
For not. She didn't want to
For
tell.
not being a rat.
She didn't want to tell on the guy that gave her the information.
Oh,
But
that's
the thing is, they already knew that he knew, so she was like, "I don't know what you guys are talking about." As far as I know, I'm just
Who knows?
paraphrasing. But yeah, she went to jail. She
That's so
talks
dope.
about it sometimes.
That's so yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you
Talks-
kind of have
She
to.
makes jokes about it.
She should run for president. I'd vote Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can once you've been in jail.
No,
Oh,
see,
yeah,
Martha's
I
too
know.
nice to be president. To be president, you got to be a son of a bitch and want to kill people and shit like that. She can't do that.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I don't think Obama wanted to kill people.
He's killed a lot of people.
I'm
I don't
sure.
think he wanted to kill
He's
people.
killed a lot of people. But
I
I love Obama.
I wanna
Obama's my
kill some
favorite.
people.
Obama's my favorite president, but he has killed people.
Oh yeah, they all have killed people.
Could you imagine pressing a
No.
button to have people killed that you don't even know somewhere else across
I can
the world?
barely even dump someone. I can't even fire
There's
someone.
a Twilight Zone like that. You ever see that Twilight Zone where they give you a box with a button in it and they go, "We'll give you $1 million if you press this button," but somebody that you don't know far away is going to die. And then the whole episode, that's like this husband and wife are like, "Should we press it? Should we press it? We can't press it. Let's press it. Come on, we need the money. Let's press it." Finally, they press the button. The guy comes back to their door, and
The wife dies.
he gives them $1 million. No, he gives no. He gives them he gives them $1 million, and he just says, "Okay, thanks." And he starts walking away. They go, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to give this to somebody that you don't know."
Oh,
And it just continues to go like that.
It could be them.
Yeah. Next
that's
time it'll be
cold as
them. Yeah.
ice.
I couldn't do it, man. I can't even be mean to people on stage.
That's that's not something
good
for
at that.
everybody.
Yeah, you're good at
I
that.
feel
I'm
bad
not.
sometimes though. Like,
I apologize when I'm mean to the audience.
yeah.
The only time I was ever mean to a dude at one of my shows was in Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
No, but I love Canada. Like, it's my favorite place to perform because they don't get offended.
Where, in
You can do
Toronto?
Anywhere.
What did you say to the guy?
Well, this guy was with a chick he was trying to impress. I thought it was his girl, but
Yeah.
apparently it wasn't.
Just like a first date type of thing?
I mean, they were friends, but he was like trying.
Right.
And like, I was in the middle of he kept him like interrupting the whole night trying to like impress the chick, but he's front row.
I had some drunk ladies on Saturday doing that shit.
Yeah, and there's no security at this club. So it sucks when that happens because it's up to me to kick him out at some point. But once you kick someone out, you're like mean.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to be able to
I don't
take
want
that
to.
shit and clown their ass.
Yeah. So this dude, I said, you know how I always hit on a chick in the audience? I said something like, this girl
I'm
was
ready to go lesbian.
yeah, this girl was hitting on me. She looked like you. I do that like at every show. She kind of looked like you. She was cute. And the guy goes, "I think you mean beautiful," to me, like about the girl. I go, "Okay, bro.
God.
Thanks for interrupting the joke. Yeah, she's beautiful." And he was like, "You're a real bitch." To me, he said that. And I go,
To you?
yeah, he goes, "You're a real bitch." And I go, "Are you getting turned on? Do I remind you of your mom?" Something like that.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, and then when I said that, the guy stood up and he was like, "Fuck you. Don't talk about my fucking mom." He was like, "Fuck you. Fuck you" to his girl. And then he left.
Fuck you to his girl? That he's
Yeah.
trying to impress?
I'd have
then
been
he
like,
left.
"Your mama is so fat."
Dude,
like
yeah.
Eddie Murphy from The Nutty Professor. I would
Right?
have went
Oh,
straight,
yeah. With,
straight
Dave
buddy
Chappelle.
love on his ass.
Well, once he walked out, the whole audience, I was like, "Are you guys glad he's leaving?" They all clapped. They're glad. This dude waited outside the club when I came out, because I was pissed. When I came off stage, I was fucking pissed. I was like, why didn't
Damn,
anyone
you need some security.
Yeah, he was waiting outside.
What did he say?
He came up to me and he was like, "I don't like how you embarrassed me in front of my girl." And I was like, "Dude, you
Came to a
embarrassed
comedy
yourself,
club,
man."
boy. You came here. Why are you
Front
heckling?
row.
Sit your ass down and shut the fuck up.
It was wild, but he was so drunk. He was like stumbling, and then he was like, "You're a cunt," and he acted like he was gonna shove me, and he like tripped and fell. That's how fucked up this guy was.
Wow.
He's lucky
So-
it wasn't Richard Pryor or something.
He's lucky I
He would have
didn't.
got his ass.
The only reason I
ripped.
didn't beat him up is because I was in Canada, and
Yeah.
I was like, if I get arrested here, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
Hey, so let me ask you a question. Who's your favorite? I know it's hard to say. It's like
So
asking me who's
hard.
your favorite.
I know. I
But
get
who's
asked
your
all the time.
iconic comedian that you like that
Look up to
inspired you? Yeah.
Well, like growing
Give
up.
me 3.
Growing up, it was one was Joan Rivers.
Okay, I can see that.
I remember watching Joan Rivers as a kid with my dad, and my mom thought her jokes were like inappropriate, and me and my dad would
yeah,
laugh.
she was a little inappropriate.
She was. That's why I
Oh,
love
yeah.
her.
But
But
that's
she
what
didn't
made her-
care.
yeah.
And she was so real.
She's like your real auntie. That's like she don't hold her tongue.
Yeah, and she was so hardworking.
Yeah.
Like if you ever watch like
She was on everything.
dude, and until
Red
the
carpet.
end, she was so hardworking.
She
like
was in the what's the show with the squares and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Hollywood Square.
Yeah, she was on She was on the Gong Show. She was on all that shit.
She did it all. And there's like a documentary they made about her at the end of her career when she was touring. And it was just crazy to see still how hard she's worked. Just like the index of all her jokes and just kind of like her struggles. And like when she would still like have nights that she would kill and feel like she bombed. She'd be crying. I mean, it's just
She
like.
filled in for Johnny Carson, I think, when he was.
Yeah,
sometimes.
she did.
She was always on Johnny
Yeah.
Carson.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's probably the most person that was ever on Johnny Carson, I would probably say.
Yeah, she was amazing.
right, number
Well, Robin Williams is a huge one. Like I used to watch the like Billy Crystal, Robin Williams. What were they called? Those
Comedy Aid?
yeah.
Comic Aid or whatever?
Yeah, and like I don't know. I was so young, but I just remember crying,
Comic
laughing,
Relief.
watching.
Did you watch
What the
Mork
fuck
for
was it
Mork?
called? Yeah, I did.
I watched Mork and Mindy later on Nick at Night. I watched
Yeah.
all those. I loved all those old shows on Nick at Night.
Happy Days.
Yeah.
When he was on Happy Days,
Yeah.
that was a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was with the Fonz, trying
Yeah.
to tell the Fonz to stay away from the biatches.
Then it gets harder, like, because it's hard for me to say a third because there's just so many. And now I'm so fortunate because I know so many personally that, like, there are people I really look up to that it's not even about their jokes, it's just about more. Like, I mean, Joey, obviously, like Joey Diaz, even though he's like almost like my father or something, but I mean, like, like the ability he has on stage to just go with the moment, and it's never the same twice. Like,
Yeah.
Joey's act is never the same twice. And just, I mean, so, but I don't know. One of my favorites is Jeselnik.
Yeah, he's funny.
Like, I mean, I just like dark, edgy.
Yeah.
I care more about the message and the passion behind the material than necessarily like, I'm not as much of I love Jim Gaffigan, I love Jerry Seinfeld, they're brilliant, but like, I'm not as much of oh, this is a well-crafted joke so much as this joke is about something more.
Right.
Like, for me. I want people to leave and also like learn something or have an emotional experience more than just, it was funny.
Yeah.
Personally.
I just want them to laugh.
I know, which some people would say like, then that's not true stand-up, what I care more about, but like, I
No.
want both, but
Stand-up is whatever you make of it.
Yeah.
well, the truth is like when I sucked, like I used to go to this club called the J Spot. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I know about the G Spot.
That's the one up in Valencia?
No, dude, the J Spot is in Inglewood. It's the blackest club you've ever seen in your life.
Oh.
It's J. Anthony Brown's club. And so when I first started, I would go there and I sucked. But I was a cute blonde. I was like the only white girl. I was the only white person. And this club was like a gospel church on a Sunday pimped out. Like everybody was like dressed in nines.
Is
like
it still there?
yeah. But I would go in there and bomb. But the dude Count, the DJ Count, he was like, come back next week. I'll pay you $20 to go up again. And he was the only, I never got paid for comedy. I was terrible. But I kept going back and getting paid. And it made me so much better because it made me learn to be myself. Because when I first started, I would try to act like a black comic. I'd try to
wow.
like match their energy. And then eventually I was like, oh, if I be myself, I'll
It's
get
more
'em.
funny, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean like that.
And the audience knows.
Yeah. But
That's kind of like me working in the studio. When I was
Really?
young. Yeah, it's like you go there to hone your craft. You go there to
well, I was
learn.
thinking it's kind of similar.
You don't
Like
care about money. You're just like, yeah, I want to do it, right?
that's when I think you know you found what you're supposed to do with your life.
Yeah.
Because like I thought when I moved here I wanted to act more, which I still do, but like
You will.
yeah. But but I don't care anymore. When I go on acting auditions, I'm like whatever. But like stand up was the first thing I ever found that I would do for free. I would lose money to do it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean.
Yeah, all day.
What's the work you've done that you're most proud of? Like if you could pick 3 songs that you're most proud of, can you even?
I would say I haven't done it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel that. Do you feel like it's never perfect? I always put out like,
Yeah,
That's how I feel
it's
about my
No,
stand-up.
it's never perfect. It's just like, you just have to be able to. What you have to do is give it all you got. Give it to don't half-ass anything and do whatever you can do to make it good. And at some point, you just have to be like, all right, let me just let it go how it is, because you can like when I hear songs that I produced like on the radio afterwards, I can't listen to them because I start finding things in it. I'm like, damn, I should have turned.
Pretty much
that
like
up.
comedy.
Dude,
I should have did this or did that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you have to live with it and be like, you know what, it is what it is.
But you're
That was
lucky.
then.
You're lucky with music because at least once it's out, like once a song's out on the radio, you're not gonna keep performing it. Like I recorded an album that I've been kind of sitting on because some of the bits are funnier now because I've done more work with them now, and I'm like, do I want to re-record it because it's not?
Nah,
as good. Do you know
have
what I
to.
mean?
No, you gotta let it. You have to let it. You have to let
so
it
hard.
live as it is in that time. You know what I mean? That you have to just let it go because people are gonna appreciate it. People aren't gonna listen to it like you. People are gonna.
I
listen
know
to
you're
it
right.
for
So
what
hard.
they catch in it and what they like.
When did you
know?
record it?
Sack Punchline not long ago.
Oh, so
It's great. It's great. It sounds
it's pretty
great.
up to date.
It's
Sounds
not
great,
doing you
but-
any good sitting in a
I
hard
know.
drive.
You're
It's-
right.
Yeah, you gotta just let it go.
I gotta just
and that's a
fucking
hard
do
thing
it.
to do as
It's
an
so
artist because you're
hard.
like, man, I can make it better, but you're always gonna make it better, but just make it better for something else. You have to give it all you got for that, whatever that thing is, and then just kind of let it go.
You
You're
might
right.
get a comedy special by putting it out.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And then you'll really be able to make something, the next thing, better than that because
That's
you'll really
true.
be able to be like, you know what? You
That's
know.
a good point. What's all right? So I'm gonna ask you these, and we'll see if he'll answer them.
All right, let's
okay.
see.
Because this show is date fails, but we aren't talking about dating at all.
Okay.
Okay. But you have to tell if you can think of it. I should have given you a heads up, but we'll see what you come up with. And you have to be specific with names or anything.
All right.
What's the worst date experience you've ever had? It could be like a psycho fan. It could be like just a horrible. It could be before. It could be when you were younger. Anytime. Worst date or worst sex. Epic fail.
Date or sex?
Either. Both. Tell two. Tell more than one. I have a million
Like-
if you need help.
Sex is like the sex. There's not ever really bad sex. It's just like some people's sexual chemistry are a little bit better, some aren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as a date, I have been on a date with somebody before that I don't even remember how I met them, and they really was like went psycho.
What happened?
During the
Can
first
you tell
date?
it?
Like right after the first date.
You got to tell the story.
I don't know if there's like one thing, but it was like, you know, like calling you at weird times and just saying really weird things. He was like, did you
One
call-
date?
Yeah. Did you call me? What happened? Okay, so we're gonna still be friends now, right? Like, yeah. What's going on? I mean, I just feel like things have changed. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Did you wait?
then-
Did you hook up?
Yeah.
Did she sleep over, or you sleep over?
She came over.
Oh, she didn't spend the night though.
No.
Yeah. See, then I don't go psycho if I don't spend the night. As long as I leave.
I had a girl once think we were together because we had sex, like boyfriend girlfriend.
Did she
type.
spend the night? I have this whole thing. I do it even on stage.
I don't think she even spent the night.
If they fall asleep with you, it's a problem. I always make them leave.
And it's not so much a problem. It's just like, okay,
for
just
you.
be growing up about it. Like, okay, like sleeping doesn't mean we're together, but sleeping with people is like one way that you get to know each other.
Yeah.
It's not the only way, but it's part of, you know, seeing if you want to spend more time with that person.
Sure.
In another level.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, at some point you have to do it. You can't.
You can't be like, oh, I'm not going to sleep with him on the first date. Man, fuck that shit. Fuck him on the first date. Get that shit over with and then move on to the next thing.
I don't think
I agree
that's
with
true.
him. Every
Yeah,
girlfriend I've
sometimes.
had,
with all
pretty
that.
much every girlfriend I've ever had,
You
I
fucked
slept
on
with
the
on
first date?
Yeah.
I will say this. I've recently had a change of heart about this to some degree, and I'll tell you why. Because the last guy I dated, I waited the longest I ever waited. And I regretted it because once we started hooking up, I started to realize he was kind of a dick. And then
You
I was
wasted
like,
all that time for
exactly.
nothing.
I was like, if I would have fucked him sooner, he probably would have started being an asshole sooner, and I wouldn't have gotten to know him so well. And so, like, it might be actually more beneficial to hook up with them sooner and see if they're still cool.
All right, from now on, all three of us, we're going to have sex on the first date when we go out with someone.
Yeah, some type of carnal knowledge.
Okay. Also,
I mean, I don't say you got to go all the way freak nasty on the first date, but, you know,
well, something.
get some little intimacy if you have a chemistry like that. Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
you could
I
find
agree
something.
with that.
Oh, I don't want to fuck him on the first date. Oh, no.
Some girls won't kiss on the
Oh,
first
he's gonna
date.
think
What
I'm
are
a.
you- what are
He's
you,
gonna think
14?
I'm a hoe or something. Like, man, we ain't past all
Some
that.
guys though do, like, I have had guys that do, if you fuck them on the first date, eventually it comes out they're like, oh, do you do, like, how, like, some guys do care how much you
Oh,
fuck.
I see what you're saying.
Some guys do care how much you
Well,
sleep
that's not
with
the
people.
guy you
how
want to
mu-
be with.
No, not me, but I'm just saying, like, it is. Also, there's this whole thing of return on investment. Like, once a guy fucks you, sometimes that's all they wanted, and then they're gone.
Yeah, but sometimes that's what girls want. Sometimes girls like, man, I don't want this dude calling me. This dude's cool. He just comes over and pounds me out.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
for
then
sure.
he's not tripping.
I agree with that.
You know, when you got him calling you, like, hey, what are you doing? What time are you at? I'm like, hey, man, I'm chilling. I'm with my friends. I got to call you back. And they start texting you and calling you like, yo, what the fuck? Chill out, dog.
I agree with that. But what if I'm going to have a guy that I'm just hooking up with like that, I just like it to be like from the start, that's what it is. But if I start dating him and like, if a guy starts introducing me to his friends, his family, like once we're doing coupley stuff,
Family's
that's
different. Friends,
Yeah.
you can meet friends if you're hooking up. So what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't introduce anybody to my friends unless I like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never introduce people to my friends. But that's because my friends talk.
Sometimes what if a guy you're banging comes to a comedy show and your friends are there? Like,
I
it
don't
just
let
happens.
that. And nobody I bang comes to my comedy.
Plus, if somebody she's banging goes to a comedy show, he's gonna probably be somebody that he's gonna be somebody that knows how to act in front of people. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be all putting his hand down her pockets and shit, or grabbing her titties in front of everybody, or trying to back on her. He's gonna know how to act.
Also,
because he's a gentleman. A real gentleman knows how to. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Get down and then, you know what I'm saying, and to be cool.
You're a gentleman.
Thank you, Mom.
I remember actually saying to you, like, you're actually like a man. You stand out. And you know what? You're like an alpha guy, but like a real one. There's like alphas. Guys that say I'm an alpha are never alphas. They're like bitches that like need to prove something.
Damn.
It's true. It's true. But
Insecure bitches.
Yeah, like if you have to be like, I'm an alpha, probably not,
What
dude.
is an alpha?
An alpha, like a leader. Like a natural leader. Like the alpha wolf is like the lead wolf.
Honestly, I
You're the
like
lead.
being one of the Indians. I don't want to be the chief.
You're definitely the chief though, dude. You are the chief.
Ho!
I'm just saying.
Where's the peace pipe at? You guys got one here?
I think it's Hal.
You're very...
Hal.
No, apparently that's offensive. Did you know that?
Unless you're saying it to a
Why?
girl.
We love our Indian brothers.
I
We're
don't
not
know.
clowning them.
I took a photo with a Native American chief, and I put my hand like this, and the caption said "how," and apparently, like people were like, "That's really." Did you know that's offensive? I
Why?
didn't know.
Why is that offensive?
I don't know.
Well, teach me how to learn. That's what I say.
Oh,
If
dude.
I don't want to offend nobody.
We did shows at
don't know.
Pachanga.
Teach me how to learn.
I
Yeah.
did shows at Pachanga, and they came up to us before the show. They said, there's people that are in the crowd that are Native Americans. You cannot say Pachanga. You can't talk about Native Americans.
Can you say Panocha?
Why can't you say Pachanga? Pachanga.
You could say Pachanga, but you can't say Pachanga. Like,
Oh, you
they
can't
get really
pronounce it
offended.
wrong?
Yeah, and like there was just like all these different things like that they'd get mad about. And
Whatever.
They were basically saying, don't talk about it.
One time I did the Josh Wolf show on Comedy Center or on CMT. Do you know who Josh Wolf is? He's a comedian. Doesn't matter. But the Darius Rucker was on, the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you guys, they came, like he sent his people in before. And
Don't
there's a
call him
panel
Hootie.
show. They're like, don't call him Hootie.
Yeah.
Don't mention the Blowfish. Don't say Hootie and the Blowfish. Don't whatever.
Because
We're supposed to call him Darius.
Darius.
we want nobody to know who he is when he's on the
Yeah,
show.
he reinvented himself.
Yeah, but it was so funny because it was
Not
me.
as good as he did
You
the
better
first
kiss
time.
my eye, but oh yeah, no problem. Bring him on in there. So, Hootie.
That's what
check
happened.
this out, dog.
That's exactly.
Tell us, man, what was it
Yeah.
like being with the Blowfish?
Dude, you can't tell comedians. Yeah, exactly. They're like, don't say this.
Motherfucker.
It was Ben Glebe and me. And the first thing Ben did when he came out,
What's up, Hootie?
Ben said something like, oh man, my pet blowfish are backstage. Like he kept making jokes about blowfish without direct
I know,
reason.
yeah.
Did he look visibly
See,
annoyed?
if you know that he's annoyed by it, you're gonna poke at it even more.
He
but
didn't
if you
seem
don't
to care.
yeah. Oh,
But yeah, exactly. They shouldn't have told us.
Yeah.
So I brought this Fuckboy Patrol pin for badge for Fred, which I never do on here. I actually gave one to Brian's girl before the start of the show, and then I had an extra one for you. And you said, what should I do with this? Because does this mean I support fuckboys or I'm against fuckboys?
No, I was saying if I wear that, does that mean I am a fuckboy?
No, you don't have to
no,
wear
you're
it.
on patrol to make sure no fuckboys fuck with
am
Kate.
So is this like a mafia ring? I pass this on to other people?
Well, I mean, I actually have FBP hats that I sell to mostly guys at my shows, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a great conversation starter because people are always like, what's FBP? And then when you're like Fuckboy Patrol, then they're like, oh my God, I love that. You're against fuckboys. But then you said, don't women like fuckboys?
Yeah.
Which I want to actually talk about because that's interesting to me.
What is the definition of a fuckboy?
Yeah, please.
In my mind, like, it's not that we're against a guy that sleeps around. It's like a single guy, is like a player, whatever, if he's
Right.
honest. The fuckboy is the guy that like pretends he wants more. Like pretends to be like
He's a manipulator.
yeah, basically
that
a
what
liar.
that is?
Basically a liar. Fuckboy is like a liar guy that's like fake. Like the last guy I dated.
Yeah.
Like that guy when we were initially dating would like pay for stuff that was way out of his budget and just like he'd act like he had more money than he did, and not that that even matters, but then like
Yeah, that doesn't
eventually
mean he wants to be with you, but he said other shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then eventually, like once we start dating, like he needs to borrow money for stuff. Like he doesn't have like.
Who needs to borrow money? Like you got to know that is the first sign of man. This is
Well, no, I
drop
know.
the zero, get with a hero.
I just got an idea.
Well, yeah, that's what happened.
But
Eventually.
but on the real though, a fuckboy is like but is that really the definition of
Yeah,
a fuckboy?
a
Or is a fuckboy just like a guy that you fuck just for fun? He's your fuck buddy.
No, that's a fuck buddy.
Oh, so is that a fuck buddy
A
patrol?
fuckboy
Is there a fuck buddy patrol?
No, because fuck buddies are fine.
Oh.
Fuck buddies are good. Fuck boys are bad. Fuck boys are bad.
Fuck boy is a guy who's manipulating his way into your life.
So
by
this is
trying
something
to
I
make
got to give one of my girls to like.
You should
ward
give
off,
that to a girl.
Like when you wear the Hamza to scare off the evil.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
what that is.
That's what this is.
That's what that is.
Okay,
That's
I got
what
it.
that is.
I'm
just
gonna
have
make
to-
sure I share this.
I just had the best idea.
Give it to
this
Martha
out.
Stewart.
Check this out.
Please give it
Here,
to Martha
Martha.
Stewart. Please.
Kate.
What?
We're going to make, you remember OPP?
Yeah.
Let's do a parody. We get FBP. You down with FBP? And then you can make the beat and I'll write the lyrics and you'll rap it.
Okay, I'm down. We'll do that. Sounds
So,
great.
Get the drum machine.
Okay, so we didn't get your bad date story. I mean, we got the you just went out with a girl and she turned psycho after. That's it.
Yeah,
and
she
there's
started
no crazy.
calling me at all different years of the time and leaving crazy messages and blocking in your number and like it's like once you feel like somebody's kind of being crazy a little bit, you're like, man, I'm not cool with that vibe. You want a good vibrations around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
dude, what? Just,
Crazy's
hey,
not
sorry. You know what I would just tell her if she ever did call me? I'm like, hey, man, I appreciate it if you don't call me anymore. I have a girlfriend now.
Yeah, I do
Boom.
that. I just tell
Boom.
people I have a boyfriend or I got engaged.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I had a stalker, like a legit stalker. I had to get almost a restraining order. And then eventually he stopped calling finally. And then one day, like 2 years later, my phone rang. I picked it up and it was him. And he was like, hey, Kate, his name was Rafa. Hey, Kate, it's Rafa. I still don't know his last name. And he was like, I just wanted you to know I went to therapy and I'm on meds now. And I just wanted to apologize for how I behaved. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, I was wondering if we could try starting over. This is after like a year of legit stalking. And I was
married
like,
now.
I'm married. It's like, I'm
Damn.
married, I'm
Yeah.
pregnant.
And my
I'm freaking-
husband, he's a psycho, crazy motherfucker. So I got to get off the phone now. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Don't call me no more.
For real. Okay, last question. And then we'll end this. So
We're going to rap, though.
I'm not rapping tonight.
Why don't you
We're not
rap?
rap because I don't want to rap, dude. We'll rap. We'll make your beat. We'll make your fucking whatever you just said OPP thing.
Oh,
FBP.
FBP.
I don't care about
We're
that.
down to FBP.
No, we're
Hey,
doing
you
that.
know
I don't
me.
want to rap. We're not rapping, Brian. You can rap.
He might sign us.
No, he doesn't. He's not a record label. One and B. I don't want to be
He
a
might
rapper.
want to make music with us.
Brian, no one wants to make. Stop. Okay, last question for Fred. Fred wants to leave. He's sweating. It's 150 degrees up
It's
here.
not hot in here.
It's hot as
Nice.
shit.
This is really nice.
All right.
I'm
He's
got his
actually
fucking
honored to be
hoodie
in
on.
the,
I'm just trying to get
in
you
the
out.
studio with y'all.
Well, thank you. Your studio is probably. I'm coming to your studio next. Last question, because you have to have a good story. What is the most like psycho fan crazy thing you've ever seen? It doesn't have to be to you, even to any, just in general, if you can tell it. Anything.
Groupie shit, right?
I've had crazy.
I've
come
been
on.
at I don't know if I'm allowed to say whose studios it was at, but I've been at a studio where a fan had flown in from another country and was camped out outside and would not leave, and they would come back every day. They didn't care if they were going to get arrested. They didn't care if the police come. They wanted to see this
Just
person.
to meet this person.
They wanted just to see the person. So finally, after about 4 or 5 days of this, and I started feeling bad for him. I'm like, because I would talk to him when I walk in, like, who are you? Oh man, I came here from Austria.
Was it a guy?
It was a guy and a girl.
Oh, okay.
I came here from Austria, and I'm the biggest fan. I said, look, wait right here, man. Let me go inside. So I went inside. I said, look, man, if you want to get rid of those people, those people are not leaving. So look, why don't I make a deal with them? Let him sign an autograph on a poster, give him a CD, give him a T-shirt. I'll take it out there, give him a bag, and be like, yo, man, this is from him. It's signed and everything, but you got to leave if I give you this. And they left, and they never came back.
Never got to see him face to face.
Nope. They didn't need to.
That's
because
a great
I was,
trade.
Yeah, I was like, all right, you either gonna sit here and you ain't gonna do nothing because they come in through another way. You're not gonna ever see them. You just causing problems and making security people scared because once you see some shit happen, people get shot and Dimebag, Daryl, and who knows? You know what I mean? You don't want no psycho fans. You don't want no John Lennon shit happen to you.
Hell no.
So it's like, man, just give them a CD and give them a poster and a couple T-shirts and some keychains and shit. Let the motherfuckers kick rocks.
So much easier.
So that's probably like, I've seen shit
We get
like
that shit with comics sometime. Like, is there any way we can go back there? Is he still back
Or
there?
I've read like letters that people have sent artists that I work with, like crazy shit. Like, man, I know if you weren't a singer that we would be married together, and sending their panties in the mail and shit like that, like crazy shit. Like, man, people are freaking strange.
Yeah.
What's crazy though is now with social media, I get like 20 of those a day.
On the DM though.
Yeah.
You're not showing up at your house, knocking on the door, camped out inside.
No, but I've had that too.
That shit will creep the shit out of you.
Oh,
Back then, there was no accessibility. You couldn't DM somebody.
It is weird now how easy it is to get access to anybody.
Yeah, that sucks. And for artists that just want to be private and do their art, if they have a kind of a hard time with it. So
it is
that's
weird.
why I like my job. I'm behind the scenes, and I can go wherever I want. I don't need to wear a veil, and you know what I mean.
You're on a boat half the time anyway.
Yeah, like, that's cool, man.
Until you get trapped in a podcast, some guy's trying to rap to you.
Yeah, no shit.
I have like one minute. I have one minute rap, by the way.
You're not doing it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to get signed. I just want him to know that I'm not psycho. Even though I'm going to follow him after this.
Out of your
we're friends
house?
now.
Yeah, I'm going to drive behind him out.
Oh, great. All right, perfect.
That's cool.
That sounds lovely.
I always got human torpedoes around too.
That's cool.
Just in case somebody gets online, a human torpedo comes out of nowhere.
Fred, you're the best. Dude, I'm so happy you came to do this. You're so great. I want to ask him for more crazy shit, but I just don't want to get him into any kind of trouble.
I mean, you can ask me anything you want.
Do you have any more questions, Brian?
I don't know. He didn't really have a date fail.
When did you lose your virginity?
When I was 16.
I was
okay.
20.
That's not that crazy. Where was it? Skating rink?
It was a girl from the skating rink at her house.
Yeah.
You were the DJ guy back then?
I was like, first I worked in the skate room. I used to pass the skates out and then
put the orange stopper on it?
Yep, all that stuff. And then I was a skate guard. I used to skate around, tell people to slow down.
Do you
Had
still
those tan
skate?
skates.
I actually, Snoop had a birthday party at a skating rink in Glendale about
That's where I go.
3 years ago.
I love that.
And he rented the
Where
whole
is it, by
place
the mall?
out. And we all took turns DJing.
No way.
And he just had us. Everybody was there. Chris Brown, you name it. We were all skating. Everybody took turns DJing. That was pretty fun. I still got it. That's cool.
I'm going to take you roller skating.
Yeah, we'll go.
I love that
roller
place.
Roller skating is fun.
That place in Glendale is cheap to rent out to. It's like $500 or something like that to rent it out for a party. It's so cheap.
Remember Brett Ernst and his roller skating bit?
No. But
You got to see it.
no, check it out.
Yeah, you got to watch that one.
All right. Well, Fred, you're the best.
You're the best. Thank you, Kate.
You guys should watch. Is your show airing now? The
Yeah,
Snoop
it's
and
on
Martha's
now. Yeah.
Pot Roast on VH1, yeah?
On VH1, yeah.
On VH1. And anything else you want to plug while you're here?
I just did Anderson .Paak's album. I hope everybody goes and enjoys that. He's nominated for a VMA award this year.
That's right. I posted that.
So that'll be cool. Hopefully
You're killing
he gets
it.
to win.
You're killing it.
But yeah.
Can't believe those VMAs are still happening.
What are you
know.
talking about? It's still a thing.
Videos.
MTV. Yeah. Well, I watch videos on Vimeo.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
just surprised that they have it. It's big enough to make an award show about it still.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not the same as when we used to watch it. but
I
it's
went
still
to the
cool.
one once with I met Bon Jovi and Ice-T and Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Were you sitting on Michael Jackson's lap?
No, not that time. That was the year before.
That was a monkey, actually.
That was Webster.
Webster.
That was Macaulay Culkin.
That was Webster, I think.
Michael
Guys,
Jackson ain't going to no fucking VMAs. He's
all
in
right.
the fucking Grammys.
He did. Dude,
Yeah, that's what it was.
guys, listen, you can catch me this weekend, Friday, Saturday night at the DC Improv. Please fucking come, because I need to sell this motherfucker out. Joey Diaz in town the same weekend, so it's going to be hell. But
Washington, D.C. His is probably already sold out.
His is sold out,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure.
don't got no competition.
Yeah, so come see me. And that's it. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. Follow Brian Monarch. Brian's at the Comedy Store Saturday night.
At
7 p.m.
At Brian Monarch. What are you at? Fred Rec.
I'm at Fred Rec,
LA.
Fred Rec. LA. Love you guys. It's been Date Fails. Bye.
Peace.